Still continuing on with example 1. Part E wants us to use the rounded equation from part C to evaluate f of 20. Okay, so what was my equation, my rounded equation from part C? That was y equals 1.577x plus something. What was it? Plus 1.892. Okay. Using this equation here that we had on part C. So if I want to evaluate f of 20, this is function notation. That means my x is 20. So all I'm doing here is substituting in an x for this 20. So we're going to get y equals 1.577x. Oh, but what is my x? My x is 20, so I'll substitute that in there. Plus 1.892. So my y equals, or f of 20 equals 33.432. Now, one other thing that I can do to get this, which we're going to end up doing in the future, let me put this in a different color. We'll do or. Once I graph this, which I already have the graph, I can use my trace feature. So I can do trace 20, enter. So let's try this. I already put that in my equation so that I could see how it fit with those data points, but I want to turn those data points off. And so I'm going to turn my plot 1 off. Now when I graph, it is just that line of best fit. So now I can do trace 20, since that's what my x equals. Trace 20 and hit enter. Now, kind of glad this happened. We got invalid. Don't freak out if that happens. Let's look at our window here. In my window, my x max is 17.4, and I'm trying to figure out the value for 20. So what I need to do is expand that out. So if I go to maybe 25, we could go 21. We could probably just do 20. You could do 23, 22, whatever. But go a little bit beyond, or at least to what we need it. And now let's try trace 20. So trace 20, enter, and we still get that 33.432. Okay, part F, still using the rounded equation from part C. Find x when f of x equals 30. So f of x is just another name for y. So here they're telling us that our y equals 30. Find x. So now I'm putting 30 in here. And let's just go ahead and rewrite the equation. We got y equals, okay, here is my rounded equation. And now they're telling me 30 equals y. So solve. This is a two-step equation. I'm going to subtract this number over. So 30 minus 1.892 gives me 28.108. Bring that part down and now divide. I already have that in my calculator here. So I'm just going to do divide. It takes that last answer and I'm going to divide it by 1.577. And we get x to be roughly 17.82 This 7 makes that 3 go up to a 4. Okay, not too bad to do by hand. When we get to things that are a little bit harder than linear, we need to use what we did last lesson. So, or I already have my y1 as my equation, so I will keep y1 as 1.577x plus 1.892. So then I want to set my other side of my equation as my y2. It does not matter which side you do as y1 and y2. So just set the other side as your y2. And then find the intersection. So I already have my equation in there. So I'm going to set my y2 to 30 and I'm going to hit graph. I need to be able to see that intersection. So in case I couldn't see that, I would need to move my window. If I want to see it a little bit more clearly, I could even make my y max bigger than 30. It's barely bigger than 30. If I go 40, we can now see that a little bit more clearly, that intersection point. So from last lesson, we're going to go to calc. So second trace, and I want the intersection. So number 5, and then enter, enter, enter. And we get x is about 17.824. So you can use either of those two methods.